What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Hope you all are having a good start to legal tampering day number one, or not, which I think is probably going to be the answer for quite a few of you. I get that. But yeah, today's legal tampering day number one. So teams today are able to discuss and talk contract negotiations with players, although just simply we cannot do any basically no signing of any contracts until that until the new year actually starts, which is Wednesday. So, you know, a lot of names are off the board so far. We're going to kind of talk about a lot of those. But so far, I mean, Cody, I think we kind of expected the slow start once again for Indianapolis, and that's pretty much what we've gotten so far.
Oh, man, I'm not even going to check the chat because I know it's a bloodbath right now. But, yeah, I mean, it's just to the point where you're like, bro, I'm not even shocked anymore that we just are deciding to do nothing on day one. Like, this just become a tradition. Like, if you want to check on the Indianapolis Colts, come back on, like, Tuesday or Wednesday. Then they may have actually signed some people. But I think and you know me, Derek, I try to look on the bright side of things mostly. Sometimes when it comes with the Colts, they definitely take my optimism and turn it to pessimism. I feel like they've done that recently. But I will say this, kind of looking at some of these deals today, like there was obviously a lot, and it seems like the Jacksonville Jaguars were involved in a lot of these deals today. Mm-hmm. But I honestly look at every single one, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd want the Colts to go, give that guy that kind of contract, right? Like, I mean, the only one that I was pretty upset about was a Hassan Reddick signing by the Eagles.
Yeah, for $15 million. Well, I would have loved to have done something with that. I mean, kind of leaves us. I mean, again, the edge room is not, very. It's not very broad, So there's only a few guys that would really test our limit with that to even get improved at the position.
Yeah.
And Reddick was one of maybe three at that point. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting. We'll talk more about some of those guys here shortly. I do want to address this comment here real quick. You and I kind of talked about it, and Stephen Holder kind of brought this up on Twitter earlier today, talking about the all chips in motto. Okay, so I want to just say something real quick. I think that it was. I think that we as fans, and you mentioned this to me when we were off air, I think it was a mistake, one, for us to believe Jim Irsay, and when he was saying all chips in is the new motto for this team. First, it's fault on all of us fans. Second off, it's fault on Jim Irsay for allowing his emotions to get the best of him to make comments like that. I think the problem you have is that, yeah, the problem is you as the owner, since you have the control of everything that goes down, when you make comments like that in the offseason after a very disappointing end to your season, you make those comments and that sticks with people. And I'm not even really too mad at fans for believing in that motto. We all kind of did in a way. But, you can't make promises that you can't keep. And that's the problem is right now, Irsay said this is going to be the motto for us. All chips are going in to help this team get better. And, it hasn't happened yet. We don't know what's going to happen going forward. But obviously, the Colts didn't get one of the best quarterbacks available in trade scenarios. Some of the guys that have been off, we kind of expect that. But I think we took it too literal. And that's the problem, is fans were all upset. Fans wanted something to grasp onto. So I totally get why everyone's so high and dry about it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's... You want to improve this team, and, I think that just what Irsay was saying, I think it gave some fans false hope.
Yeah, and that's on Jim Irsay. Like, you shouldn't rile the fans up like that. Like, we're all pissed. We're all angry that the season ended that, and I think it was just emotional, emotional tweets from Jim Irsay. I'll just say that. At the end of the day, Jim Irsay is not the one, making the personnel decisions, right? He trusts Chris Ballard to do that. And Chris Ballard never came out and said something like that, right? And so I think that's something we have to keep in mind is Jim Irsay's always kind of been a guy that's spoken a little bit in hyperbole, right? He's kind of says some things and you're just like, oh my gosh, like what does that mean? But it's not always necessarily translated to anything that actually will happen, And so I think for that standpoint, like Chris Ballard has kind of, when he's been interviewed at his end of the year presser and even like, more recently with like Dockich and stuff, he hasn't really said anything like that. He's kind of kept his same approach to free agency. So that's why I think a lot of us, while I was upset because obviously those Irsay comments and then he says all chips in and they were just like, you're talking about potato chips? What are you talking about here? Because really it's not when it comes to like making a big trade or getting a huge signing, day one of free agency. Unless, we still have time here. Obviously it's only 6:00 Eastern time. So there still could be something that goes down today.
Yeah, there's still some time today, too. I mean, we've seen, you and I remember last offseason, I mean, there were moves going down to like 10 o'clock in the evening, sometimes, right? So, you kind of have to just be prepared for one of those things to happen, right? So, again, that's what I just kind of wanted to mention off the top end. I mean, obviously the all chips in motto was not the diehard thing to do here. It was a bad hill to die on because, we kind of expected that wasn't going to happen. But while we're on the topic, what just got announced a minute ago before we started this stream, we're talking about the quarterbacks still available for this team. And Deshaun Watson, who is meeting with the Panthers and the Saints tonight, was just reported by Schefter just a minute ago that Houston declined allowing Indianapolis to speak with Deshaun Watson. So the only way that Indianapolis could possibly get Watson is if Watson hates all the other teams, hates all of them, and says the only team that I want to sign with is Indianapolis, and I will not play with you guys unless I will not do anything with you unless you send me to Indianapolis. It's the only way.
And I don't think it's happening. I'm gonna be honest.
Of course not.
It sucks, but like we're not shocked by that. Like we were all saying.
It's funny because Matt said that too. Like I'm in shock. I'm not shocked by that at all. That is the Houston thing to do. Of course, they will let any other team listen to Deshaun Watson besides the one team in their own division that actually needs a quarterback. That doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, like, I don't blame them. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let the Colts get in.
Of course, they'd be my last opportunity, last one. Because if you gave up Deshaun to them, that team is owning you for the next 10 years. You will not win a game against them for the next 10 years with Deshaun.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of, staying with the quarterbacks. I know there's been some talks about Jimmy G. Initially, you and I were pretty vocal about how we're like, hey, look, no Jimmy G. We think we can potentially get another option that would be better. We're afraid, a little bit scared of like that contract. Looks like the 49ers at that point, we're looking for like a second round pick. We're like, for all those reasons, we're out on this. Well, it seems like, oops, sorry. My roommate's trying to call me.
All good.
Anyway, it looks like now maybe the 49ers have kind of backed themselves into a corner a little bit. It kind of looks like they kind of maybe, and I don't know, these are some rumors, but maybe have kind of mismanaged this whole situation, and now they're potentially looking for more of a day 3 pick, or they might straight up release him at this point. Again, we'll have to see what happens there. But I know you sent out a tweet, Derek, asking, okay, like, would you take, a third, if you offered a day 3 pick for a guy like Jimmy G, would you take that? And I said, yes. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the contract, right? He's got a big contract as well. But certainly for the compensation, yes, I would totally be okay with that for even just a year. I'd be all right with that. I do think, I don't know if the Niners would do this, but if you got them to eat at least a little bit, kind of like the Carson Wentz trade, you got them to eat some of that contract, right? I think that would help out a ton. and kind of my thoughts on Jimmy G, because he's only signed for one more year. And I think the thing is, like, you know, do you sign him for an extra year? Or I don't know what you would do there, but do you get him beyond just 1 year, right? Do you get him beyond just 1 year? I don't know what the answer is on that, but honestly, for just a 1 year rental, if you throw in a 4th or 5th round pick for a Jimmy G, I would not be opposed to that. I know there's a question about the injury. That's the biggest question, you know, besides the contract for me, is just that injury. Like, you know, how long is he going to be out? You know, is he going to miss I think he might miss key parts of the offseason. Do you want to have that potential for another quarterback for a second straight year?
Yeah, absolutely. There's still a lot of moving parts to this. James, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah. The herd thinks the Colts are in trouble. Of course they would think that. But either way, unless something happens with Jimmy G's contract and you were able to get him for a third day guy, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, is there another team that might want to go higher for him? I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's not a ton of teams anymore, right? You know, that are actually.
There's only about 5 teams at this point that really need a quarterback. And, you know, I mean, it's slim pickings. And right now, I mean, Jimmy G is probably the 3rd or 4th quarterback that people are looking for right now. Deshaun Watson's the number 1 at this moment. And I think Jimmy G's slipping for a bunch of those reasons. One, you mentioned the injury. The second thing is, you know, the asking price of the 49ers. I mean, at the initial asking price, and to take on that giant contract has just been, you know, it's just one of those things. I'm just not sure. But at the end of the day, I'm still on the bedside of saying the Colts should probably get a free agent and then maybe draft one, or even if they don't draft one, you just see what you roll with in the quarterback realm, go a year with it, and then just figure out your quarterback situation next year, which you definitely can do.
Yeah.
I know that some of the quarterbacks who got picked up today, Mitch Trubisky, who a lot of people said might have had a chance, is going to Pittsburgh. Yep. So that's pretty cool. AJ Cooper, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I just joined. Did you guys see the Texans denied the Colts? Yes. We started the live stream with that. We are not surprised by that. We'll just see what happens as it goes from there. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Greatly appreciated. Mitch Trubisky, to the Steelers. My buddy at work is a Steelers fan, so he's unsure how to feel about that right now. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the backup QB for the Miami Dolphins. Any others that I missed? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think that covers it today. Surprisingly, like there's a few quarterbacks who didn't really have any interest today, or didn't really hear anything about them. Like I thought Jameis Winston might be off the board before like Mitchell Trubisky and
Jameis Winston's an interesting one. Him,
yes.
Marcus Mariota's name is thrown up in there. A lot of people have said that if the Colts go anywhere with a quarterback, it's going to be Marcus Mariota, which is hilarious. But yeah, Colt McCoy's going back to Arizona. Mm-hmm. Heard that one.
So it's like there's really nothing that's happened on that front of like note besides Mitchell Trubisky. So yeah, I mean, there's still some guys out there for sure. And also the thing, like people were, I don't know why, but Colts fans were super upset about J.C. Jackson going to the Chargers. Like they were upset the Colts didn't do that. And I'm like, bro, that's literally like a position we've said, like, obviously you would like to maybe get another corner, like if that corner, but I don't want to, I know he got a really big deal, right? So I would not.
It was a 5-year contract worth like $82 million with $50 million of it guaranteed. But look, I'll say this. Either the Dolphins or the Chargers are the winners of free agency so far, because holy cow, that Chargers defense, bro.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a top 3 defense next year, no question. Khalil Mack, even though his production has gone down, you still have to be you still have to keep an eye on him. Joey Bosa, still one of the best defensive linemen in the league. And then not only do you have Derwin James, who's one of the best young safeties in the game, now you just got J.C. Jackson, who since 2019 has had the most interceptions of any corner in the league in man-to-man coverage. You have 2 studs in your secondary, and you got 2 studs on your defensive line. So they are unbelievably good right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I mean, my good, they're scary, man. They are scary. It's kind of interesting because like when Jim Irsay said all chips in, I was like, is he talking about like the Broncos or talking about the Chargers? Because that's what it seems like right now. Meanwhile, the Colts only move today has been re-signing Alie-Cox, which I didn't hear your thoughts on that. What were your thoughts on the Colts bringing back their tight end here for 3 more years?
Yeah, I thought it was a great move. I think that Alie-Cox was definitely, like you said in the video, needed to be fixed. He needed to be able to make sure he stays, because if we didn't, then we'd be in a very bad tight end situation. So we absolutely needed to bring Alie-Cox back. There's not been a whole lot of other tight end action today. Will Dissily got re-signed by Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. Yep.
So what do you... Oh, my mic is quiet. Hold on. Let me see if I can raise it up a little more. Let me know if it sounds bad, guys.
Yeah, it got really quiet. That was weird.
Yeah, I lowered the volume down. I'm trying to make sure I get the levels right. It's weird for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I just about to mention? Gerald Everett is another name I was thinking of. Now that they signed Will Dissily, Gerald Everett might be the guy next,
Yeah. And by the way, somebody's asked about Evan Ingram. Of course, the Jaguars signed Evan Ingram too. The Jaguars are just going on a freaking like spending spree for how many years can the Jaguars just do this, man? Where they just go nuts in free agency?
They're lucky because UCF Jaguar literally just commented on my status. I said that in a tweet just a minute ago. Like, do the Jaguars ever run out of money? They almost never do. And he said, well, it helps to have your franchise quarterback on a rookie deal right now. So
true.
That helps.
That's true. Him and them and the Chargers right now, just, with those rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks on rookie deals, I mean, they can just go all out, and they are. I think that's why that cements to me, Derek, in the next 2 years at least, whether it's this draft or the next year's draft, you need to draft a quarterback. You need to at this point.
CJ Stroud next year.
Yeah, one of those guys. Honestly, I'm fine with whoever, as long as they believe in the guy. Give Frank Reich a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's had so many guys. He's never had a quarterback that he's had 2 years in a row. Never. So how do you judge this Colts offense and Frank Reich without a legitimate franchise quarterback for at least 2 years?
Yeah, and that's the one thing we can't bark on Reich about, is because he's always having to change his game plan every season.
Yeah, and every year he has a quarterback, they play, he gets pretty much the best out of them, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's been something with Andrew Luck.
It really has. It really has. And everyone says, oh, is he the quarterback guru? Well, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Every time a new quarterback comes into Indianapolis since Reich has been the coach, they have their best statistical year the next time. So
yeah, exactly. And like, even if you draft a quarterback this year, I'm okay with that. You just need a rookie quarterback in there. You need to give Frank Reich some opportunity to have some continuity there at his quarterback position. And I do wonder, Derek, and I do think this is legitimate, with the Colts very uncertain at quarterback right now. Like, okay, why would wide receivers want to sign to Indianapolis? There's no quarterback. Like, Sam Ehlinger's your only quarterback on your roster of note. So I don't blame him.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. I mean, again, the Colts will have to figure out the quarterback situation, as other teams are going to have to. But the only problem you have is, and it's one thing we haven't really mentioned, is did Ballard kind of screw it up by getting rid of Wentz? I know we got the draft capital for it, but at the same time, that's the problem, is you can't entice a lot of these big name guys to come somewhere where they don't know what the actual plan is. And Ballard may not be able to tell them, hey, this is my plan at quarterback right now. I hope that you'll understand it. Some of these other teams, I don't know if we want to. And that's the problem you have is, did Ballard screw the Colts over a little bit by not having the quarterback in place at the start of free agency?
I mean, I think we could say the Colts screwed it up a year ago when they traded for Carson Wentz. If they would have gone another route, like honestly, and I look at this now, and I know, like, obviously hindsight is 2020. The Colts have had legitimate opportunities to draft quarterbacks, right? Like, I know obviously you can look back on it and be like, well, obviously you didn't know at the time, so whatever. Right. But like, I look back at 2020. You had a legitimate opportunity to trade up and get Justin Herbert. Like, you really could have done that if you wanted to do that. But instead, and I know Buckner's a good player, so it's like, but like, it's a quarterback. It's their guy. You could have done that realistically, but you elected to trade for Buckner and sign Phillip Rivers. Okay, whatever. You still got a good player in Buckner. All right, last year, there were so many quarterbacks on the market, so many quarterbacks that you could have, with a rookie, like you could have rolled with the rookie. And now you're kind of in this place where you're in quarterback purgatory with Wentz before. You're even in a worse place now, I think, at quarterback, because you just kind of tried to Band-Aid it for a couple years, like you didn't legitimately address it. And that's why we're here right now in this situation without a first round pick. We have all this cap space, but like, nobody wants to come here right now. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But, if we're not going to overpay, nobody's going to want to come here on a team-friendly deal or anything because we don't have a quarterback. So it's just like this insane. It's like insanity, the definition of insanity. It's like trying to do something over and over again and expecting the same result. And it's what it seems like. So I legitimately understand why fans are like up in arms and upset, because they're like, it's year 6 now. Like, we need to figure this thing out. Like, then I get it. We can use the Andrew Luck argument all we want, but like, it's been a while since he's retired, and we've had opportunities to find our next guy, and we haven't. We just frankly haven't,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt that in 2020, the Colts could have made a move at quarterback that year that could have helped them move it up. Or even in 2021, would have just went with a rookie QB. You could have potentially traded a lot of your assets in order to be able to move up there. But again, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. Some big names still going over for sure. But I mean, seriously, when you look at some of the guys, I'd say that the team that has done probably the best of all of free agency so far has probably been around the Miami Dolphins. I think has done a pretty good job of retaining some of their own players, bringing in a couple of other guys. Teddy Bridgewater brought in a backup QB with experience. You brought in Chase Edmonds, another running back that's been around the league for a while. Cedric Wilson, they signed him today. So that leaves slim pickings for the Cowboys. Mike Gesicki, obviously they franchise tagged him, and they re-signed Emmanuel Ogbah as well. So
yeah, I would challenge that and say I think the Chargers have had a better free agency because they've literally added 2 all pros, like on their defense. And they retained Mike Williams as well, who's a really good receiver, and obviously they have Herbert. So like the Chargers, I think right now, obviously free agency. There's a lot of teams that win free agency that don't necessarily translate, but like the Chargers are different in the fact that they actually have a guy.
Yeah, they're gonna have. I mean, it might be too early to say this, but Los Angeles, they could, injuries aside, they might be the best team in the AFC this next year.
They could definitely challenge.
They could definitely challenge. They keep their entire offense. I mean, if they get a few more guys to protect Justin Herbert, their offense is set, and and their defense, I mean, they just keep adding playmakers. I mean, they're insane.
They're doing what I hope the Colts would do, and unfortunately not up to this point.
But okay, the Chargers are all chips in.
Yeah. They are. But Derek, I thought we could maybe just talk about, because there are still a lot of good options out there in free agency for the Colts. Like, it's not like, boom, we found nobody. Like, we didn't address anything, like, and free agency is over. Like, we still have a chance. Like, the team still has a chance to get some real guys that could help, start to turn this thing around, which is good. And they still have, obviously, all that cap space. The Alie-Cox re-signing, I thought it was good value. Obviously, he hasn't necessarily put up amazing stats, but he's a really good run blocker, probably the best one on this roster, even with Jack Doyle on the roster. I think he's probably the best one. I could see them potentially trying to get a more vertical threat tight end. I thought it might be Evan Ingram, but maybe there's another guy on there in free agency that they're trying to get. I know the Colts have been linked to Teron Armstead, which at this point I would not really be opposed to, because who else are you going to sign unless you go sign what's his name? He's really old. I'm totally spacing his name.
Dwayne Brown.
Thank you.
Dwayne
L. Collins.
Raul even says here, Lael Collins at left tackle. Apparently, he's expected to be released.
I would be down for that. He's 28 years old. He has some experience at left tackle. Yeah. I mean, at this point,
he'd be cheaper option too. He'd be cheaper option. He wouldn't be elite like some of the other guys, but yeah, that would improve your left tackle position for at least the time being. You don't have to focus on it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, there still are some guys there. And there's other guys. I'd have to look at the list and see who's available still, but I know there's other guys at those positions. Defensive end, there's still a few guys that I would be interested in. Chandler Jones, obviously. Zadarius Smith of the Packers. He just got released today.
Those are two names that the Colts should highly consider.
Yeah, I mean,
he's to this list.
Zadarius Smith's a little bit younger than Chandler Jones, a couple years younger, but he's been very productive with the Packers, and he was one of their captains. So, like, you talk about vet presence, like either of those guys. And I've said this in previous videos, Derek, but if you get either of these guys on your roster, you don't really need to touch defense beyond maybe a few depth pieces. Like,
yes,
you can go all chips in on your passing offense the rest of the offseason if you just sign one of these guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Chandler Jones, I don't need to say anything more about Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, one of the most high-profile guys that we've had in the league for a long time. I mean, obviously, he's older. You wouldn't get as many years out of him, but he would improve your team right now. And Zadarius Smith also, again, last season, played one game, had a season-ending injury, wasn't able to play the rest of the way. But, I mean, at the same time, for those last 2 seasons he was with them, he was the heart and soul of their defense. Like, he wasn't the most productive guy, but he was the guy that brought the energy. He's the guy that brought that passion. You felt it in that group. And what the Green Bay Packers went from a team that had no defense, and then when they signed him and a couple other pretty good guys on there, that defense became top 5, and that was because of guys like Zadarius Smith. So Zadarius would be great because, when Darius Leonard was talking at the end of the season about how this team kind of got complacent, Zadarius Smith's not going to allow that crap to happen. He wouldn't allow that because he has a different mindset than some of these other guys. So I would be totally okay with it. Again, and Zadarius, you wouldn't have to pay quite as much as Chandler Jones, I don't think. Then again, on top of it, Chandler Jones has already stated the money is not what drives him right now. He wants to go somewhere where he feels like he can finish out his career and be the best of himself and feel valued.
Yep.
Throws a pitch on that.
One thing I want to talk about Smith real fast. You talk about not being super productive. I mean, he has 13.5, 12.5 sacks back-to-back years.
Right. I didn't say he wasn't super productive. He was definitely productive. I mean, just obviously this last year was hurt all year.
Yeah.
But yeah, the previous years, I mean, he could get after it. He made a lot of great tackles in the backfield. He's great at that.
And you do wonder, the Colts would probably never say this, or maybe they would, I don't know. But in the past where like they let certain vets go and they regretted it, and they've even like Ballard even said like, yeah, I kind of regret letting that player walk for whatever reason. I think at this point they really regret letting both Justin Houston and Danico Autry walk out that door. I think they have to at this point. So you got to sign a vet. I think your defensive line room is so young, especially at defensive end. It would make so much sense to sign another vet there because I mean, how many more years are you just going to hope that some of these guys develop, right? Like, you need pass rush now. And this is something that I even said to you earlier is like, how do you honestly expect your defense to get better at pass rush if you're not going to go out there and sign a guy when he's out there? You know, like, you're not going to make that splash signing in free agency with all the money. Nobody could match your money if you really wanted them to, you know, like you have 70 plus million, obviously a little different now with Mo resigning, but you have 60 plus million that you could throw out there. And then you can really focus in this year on offense if you really wanted to. Now, at this point, with how frugal Ballard's been, I'm not going to hold my breath, but you could. And my thing is, like, if you go back next year, you say the same thing. Yeah, we want more pass rush. You have had ample opportunities, Chris Ballard, to upgrade pass rush in free agency, and you have elected to sit on your hands and do nothing. You even let guys walk out the door.
Draft them.
You've let guys walk out the door that were productive for you. Danico Autry last year. You let him walk out the door. What's he do? He has a great year in Tennessee. And ultimately, you can't get pressure when it matters again. So, like, you tell me whose fault it is, Chris. You tell me.
Yep. And you're right. He has to get better at this position. I keep having the argument with my friends about it all the freaking time about how important this pass rush is for teams. I mean, again, the second most important thing behind a quarterback is being able to get to the opposing team's quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl, man, because not only did they have the quarterback, they had guys that could get to the other team's quarterback. They could do that. They couldn't protect their quarterback very well, but they showed you that defense, they could get to the quarterback just as well as the rest of them. So, you know, this has to get better. And, you know, we're going to continue to monitor that. I hope that the Colts get someone to be able to help with that. Let's kind of look at some of the wide receivers that were taken today. So I kind of want to break it down here. I'm just going to go each division here and we'll just make our way down the board. Isaiah McKenzie. We talked about Wilson. Braxton Berrios re-signed with the Jets. And obviously Amari Cooper, we talked about that before already. He's been signed with them. And the big one of the day, I think the biggest one that we all kind of knew was going to happen, somebody was going to get it, but I think it was the most surprising one, and this will shake up the wide receiver market even more now. Wide receiver Christian Kirk, who was on my board for a long time, is signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 4-year deal worth $72 million. It's the same contract that Braden Smith got, but with incentives could be worth $84 million, which is the same contract that DeForest Buckner received from Indianapolis. Your initial reactions to hearing Christian Kirk get that much money?
I mean, initially I was like, dang it, like I wanted him, but then I saw the contract.
I was the same.
I was like, bro, Jacksonville's desperate. Like at this point, like they are desperate for guys like Christian Kirk. I think he's a third. He has the third highest salary of any wide receiver in the league. And I would argue he's probably not top 15.
That's tied 9th for the highest paid contract at a receiver in NFL history.
That is insane.
That's insane. Look, I love Christian Kirk. I think he's going to be great. I would have paid him like $15 million. I would have. But to pay him $18 million and with incentives, he might get $21 million on average. My God, man. I mean, he's getting paid based off of what he could become, not what he actually is.
Yeah. Exactly.
But again, I think it's a great signing by Jacksonville. I just think that there's just a little bit more money than they should have been giving him.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you're desperate for wide receivers, you got to overpay sometimes. So, I mean, we'll see. Christian Kirk, though, is a guy, I don't think he's ever had an 1,000-yard season in his career. Like last year.
But he's still breaking young, though, you know, and he's been available. He's been available all the time. So that's the one good thing about him is he's never had an issue of being on the field. So that's always good for him.
Makes sense.
And then, so, you know, other receivers, Mike Williams got re-signed. Michael Gallup was getting re-signed today. We kind of figured that was going to happen when they released Amari Cooper. Other than that, let me keep going here. Josh Reynolds signing with the Lions. Yep. Davante Adams was the other one. We mentioned that he was getting franchise tagged, but this morning it was the first big news of the morning, and it was saying that he will not play on the tag in 2022. So he told Green Bay they either give him a long-term deal that he likes or he's not playing with them. So be very interesting. I just want to get your reaction to that news first right away.
Oh, man, I mean, if you thought Christian Kirk's going to get paid, holy cow.
He already said he wanted like $30 million, right? And DeAndre Hopkins at the moment in time is getting paid the most money of any receiver in the league at $27.5 million, right? And Davante Adams is like, bro, I'm clearly better than DeAndre Hopkins. No offense to D-Hop, but Davante Adams is a better receiver than DeAndre Hopkins. So, is that $30 million about to happen, bro? I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And who's going to pay that, man? That's a lot of money for one.
I don't know if Green Bay can.
Yeah.
I don't think Green Bay can.
Yeah,
They just signed Aaron Rodgers to a 4-year contract worth $200 million.
Cap space is a myth, Derek. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a myth. Everyone knows it's a myth.
But according to us, it's not.
Well, according to us, it's not. Yeah, we sit back and don't spend any of it while these other teams just throw all that in. But yeah, I mean, Adams, there's no way Adams takes anything less than $28 million.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way it's possible, because if that wasn't what was happening, then we wouldn't be hearing about this, because the franchise tag, isn't it set at like 21 or 22 million right now?
Is it? Okay. I haven't looked a ton in the front, because the Colts haven't done that in like,
I know it's around 20. I know it is, but I mean, at the same time, again, he's the best receiver in the league, and he's not getting paid the league's best. So, he's probably going to want over 28 million. And so Mr. Colt here is saying 19 million. Okay, 19 million. With incentives, I think he's actually getting paid 22, because this isn't the first time he's been tagged. So he's getting paid 22 million because of the rise in the tag. But how do you feel about people asking Aaron Rodgers to forfeit some of that money to be able to pay Davante Adams?
Oh my gosh. Do you think he will? Do you actually think he would?
Here's the thing. We had this conversation. Everyone's been having the conversation on, is Aaron Rodgers really asking to be paid the most money of any team or any quarterback in the NFL right now? And right now he is getting paid the most money per year of any quarterback in the league. I wonder if, my point. If that isn't true and he isn't power hungry when it comes to the money, then I do believe that Aaron Rodgers will probably give up some of that money to be able to help Davante Adams. But when we're talking about a long-term deal for Davante Adams, that's not saying 2 years. That's not saying this year. That's saying 3 or 4 years that Davante Adams wants to be getting paid $28 million a year. How much are you going to have to give up? How much is Aaron Rodgers going to have to give up? Is he going to have to give up like 25% of his contract to be able to help them afford that? That sounds what he has to do. I mean, it's even if it's not $200 million, doesn't matter. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still going to get paid a lot of money. And again, they can't afford it. They can't afford it. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers, and if that's not the actual amount, and we're talking about, him getting less money, then why are we asking Aaron Rodgers to do anything for that?
Yeah.
That's on Green Bay.
That's so weird over there in Green Bay right now, bro.
Thank you, James, again for the $2. I don't see us doing that trade. I don't.
What was the trade? I missed it.
It was like, do we trade for Huntley or Jackson? I don't see that happening. Guessing Adam contract will be 5 years for about $150 million. It will be something close to that.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I want you to give me your top 3 scenarios here for the Indianapolis Colts when it comes to the quarterback position, because we talked about it in depth. I haven't heard your top 3.
So top 3 options.
Yes, out of everything. Yeah.
Okay. Top 3 options when it comes to the quarterback. I'm gonna sound either way. I'm gonna piss people off. Sorry.
That's fine. Join the club, bro.
Number 1 is Derek Carr. Obviously, that's a very, very high bar there, but still the one option that might be realistic.
Maybe.
Number 2 for me, sign Jameis Winston. I think that you can crash and burn with Jameis Winston and just say you got a gunslinging quarterback that could get behind this, what this offense is trying to do. Yeah. I think that'd be an option.
High ceiling, but like,
high
knows
ceiling,
how low the floor is.
Yeah, right. And I'll just say this when it comes to if I'm not picking a quarterback by drafting one, if I'm not drafting a quarterback, I would say probably Gardner Minshew.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I just think Minshew is a guy that is not going to make a ton of mistakes. I think you can kind of work some stuff with him. He does better in the play action. I like that he's confident in what he can do, and he would make some of the safer options. I know people have been saying Mariota, but again, I don't have confidence in Mariota being able to do anything to expand the field. I just don't think it's going to happen. He's a lot like Tannehill in that way. I think Mariota has better athleticism, but those are the 3 guys in the league that doesn't include actually drafting one. That's the difference.
So you would say trading for Jimmy G, even if it's a later round pick, you still would probably be out on that, or you would, it would have left.
I'd be out. I would. He'd probably be my 4th or 5th option.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting for sure. I mean, it all would depend on what the Niners are willing to do for the Colts, right? Like if they're willing to eat some of that, okay, I could be talked into that a little bit more, maybe for a year. Like if it's a 4th or 5th round pick, all right, like I at least have a competent quarterback for this next year, But yeah, I mean, I think definitely would want to avoid trading for a big contract. So I think I agree with you. If we can't trade for Derek Carr, which I don't know if we can at this point, we haven't heard anything on that front really. I think out of pure free agency, I would sign Jameis number 1. I would sign Gardner number 2, and number 3, I'm kind of up in the air on, like I don't really know where I'd go for number 3.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. Isaiah, thank you for the $2 super chat. If only it was that way, I would probably consider that.
Yeah.
But thank you for the $2 super chat. Winston, Jimmy, and Derek Larger. Hey, I appreciate that, Matt. I'd probably be better than some of these guys, but
honestly.
But anyway,
yeah.
I'll throw another one out there that we haven't really mentioned a lot.
Okay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that guy.
Talked about him a little bit. 39. He's because he's not the future, but could be a good stopgap. He won't cost you that much, but he is a leader. People love Ryan Fitzpatrick. They love the guy. There's no denying it. And we're not saying he's the savior, but we're saying if he's a stopgap, then that's the direction sometimes you might want to go because he is a leader.
Bro, screw it. Talk Phillip Rivers out of retirement. Let's go another year. Let's run it back. Come on, let's do it.
Well, apparently he was talking with them from before, but I don't think I think he's happily retired.
Yeah, they said the same about Brady, so we'll see.
I mean, that's Schefter's fault.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of other things are Schefter's fault.
Somebody wants Baker. No thanks.
No, thank you.
I'm good without Baker.
Angel with the $2 super chat. Indy being small market hurting us. Honestly, I don't think it's really that bad. I just think it has more to do with the GM and not having a quarterback. I think that's what's hurting us more than anything.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of the NFL is that it doesn't matter if you're a small market team or a bigger market team. Like, I mean, obviously for some people it matters, but like compared to like the NBA, like I don't think it matters as much because like every team has the same amount of cap space. Every team has, like it's going to take more than just a couple guys.
I don't know why y'all are so upset about me mentioning Ryan Fitzpatrick. What's so bad about that? Like seriously, why so many negatives about Fitzpatrick?
Maybe because he was hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, he was hurt this last year, but that's like one of the few times ever that he's been hurt.
Just the age, maybe. I don't know.
Again, honestly. It's 1 year. You're not going to bring him back for several years. You're just only bringing him in as a stopgap.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Kirk Cousins for a second? How in the ever living world does a guy like that continue to get paid $35+ million in full guaranteed money all the freaking time? How? Do you know, Cody, did you see how much money this guy has made throughout his career?
It's baffling.
$291 million Kirk Cousins has made. I think that's like 3 times the amount of money that Tom Brady has made in his career. Like,
that's insane. That's insane. I have a friend who's a Vikings fan. It's funny because right before they extended him, he's like, "Hey, I heard y'all are potentially interested in Kirk Cousins." I said, "Please no. Like, I do not want him." And then he saw that happen. He's like,
the funny thing is, and the great thing is, the reason why they do all these fully guaranteed contracts is because of the fact that it helps reduce the cap down on them. So that's why they do that. So then that way it cut the cap down hit on him by like $14 million.
Yeah.
So that's pretty freaking insane. But
yes. But anyway, God. Like he texted me and he said, "I hate the Vikings." He's like, "I hate them so much." Like right after that.
So I didn't talk to you at all about the news that happened yesterday. Tom freaking Brady coming out of retirement, man. What in the world was going through your mind?
Just like, I'm not shocked anymore. Like,
I was at a freaking Red Lobster and I'm sitting there. I'm eating some fine crab. I'm chewing on them biscuits, having a great old time. And then I get that notification. I'm like, what the hell? Why is this happening to me?
It's like, yeah, I love that the Colts trolled themselves. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was great. I love the social media group actually responded to that.
They're just like the Colts did because like in the first video when he retired, is like the one scene where like SpongeBob's leaving and Squidward's like, "Boo hoo, I'll miss you," and then he comes back just like Tom Brady comes back, and then he's like dancing on his house, and then like the house resprouts and like falls on top of him. It's like, yep.
That was great. I love it.
Oh man.
So let's kind of talk real quick. We'll talk some more about other things going on, but what do you feel from a weapon sake? We talked about the defensive line.
Yeah.
Talked about that already. Kind of mentioned some of the guys that we think the Colts should go after. But let's kind of talk about some other weapons on the offensive side that you think that we should go and get.
I'm trying to look at what ones are like still available, bro. Like, because a couple went like Allen Robinson, obviously, as well.
But with that receiver market now being reset.
Exactly. Exactly. So like, is it even worth it at that point to even try to go for it?
Hey, we got 350 people in here right now and only 56 likes, guys. Let's get that like total up.
They're probably all disliking because, they're pissed at the Colts and they're blaming us for it. It's fine. We're used to it.
Yeah.
We're used to it. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. But DJ Chark name, that would be interesting. He's still out there. I would not be opposed to that. Oh, shoot. Well, I'll go to tight end, I guess. Robert Tonyan, Gerald Everett, couple names there that could potentially still be available. Mm-hmm. Would not mind them one bit. There's some other wide receivers that I'm totally just spacing on, but I know there's other.
We mentioned Allen Robinson. Jarvis Landry is another one. And then DJ Chark, like you mentioned. Marquez Scantling.
Scantling, yes.
Is another one that the Colts are apparently really linked to. My only thing about the Jarvis Landry thing. And Matt, screw you. I'm not buying into the Juju hype.
Yes, Juju.
No, get him out of here. I don't want a TikTok influencer on my team.
Why not?
Why not? You know damn well why.
No.
But, anyways, yes, you do. But when we're talking about weapons,
that's funny.
The problem is, with Landry and Jordan, I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes I have to remind everybody. Problem I have with Jarvis, it's not really a problem with him specifically. It's the fact that he wants to go somewhere where the quarterback situation is figured out.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. That's why he doesn't want to stay in Cleveland anymore, because not only does he not trust Baker Mayfield to get him the ball, now he's getting upended by Amari Cooper. So, I get it. I get that completely.
We should have freaking made that trade. I'm just going to say that for Cooper.
Honestly, that $20 million thing now doesn't sound so bad now, does it?
No, it does not.
You're paying Amari Cooper about the same thing as Christian Kirk right now, and you're doing it for a 4th and 6th round pick.
Yeah,
that honestly doesn't sound so bad now.
So a couple guys.
Scantling sucks. What?
Okay.
That's not true at all.
All right, I'm going to keep going here. All right, so CJ Uzomah, name potentially.
Yeah, CJ Uzomah is another interesting one.
Gerald Everett. Robert
Everett.
Tonyan.
Mm-hmm.
What would your thoughts be on OJ Howard?
Again, it's a low risk one for me, but the potential is there. It could be very interesting.
Former high round pick. It's like the talent's there. It's just like, does he need a change of scenery or just more opportunities? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So,
and like you said, when it comes to the left tackle market, the more that these weapons keep going off, the more I'm interested in just continuing to try to build that offensive line at this point.
I feel like there's been a lot of offensive linemen that have
a lot of guards that have been taken.
There's been a lot of guys
busy today.
There's been a lot of guys that have been released today, which has been interesting.
Yeah, the Bengals have been busy with their offensive linemen. They've gotten a couple of guys. They got Alex Kappa from the Buccaneers, and then got Karras from New England. So they've already improved that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So there's guys like we talked about Teron Armstead, Dwayne Brown. That would be interesting guys for me. It's interesting. We talked about Riley Reif last offseason, and the Colts elected to go Eric Fisher, obviously. I don't know if he really was good or not last year. I didn't really follow him. But that's a potential option. I'm trying to look. Beyond that, there's not really a ton of guys that you're like, wow, I really want that guy. So, yeah.
So, they were talking about the Houston denying us the ability to talk to Watson. Robert Mathis says 3 things here. 1, Texans lame for that. Number 2, I understand why they said no, but y'all still lame. And number 3, I am good knowing we shot our shot. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, seriously. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to just find. Okay, so DeMarcus Lawrence went back to the Cowboys, so that's interesting.
Huh.
Yep. I'm just scrolling through Twitter trying to see if I can find any other things that we may have missed as well.
I don't know, man. That's most of what has been done today. Not a whole lot more that has been done.
Yeah.
So.
You want to know what's interesting? Reggie Wayne, we didn't talk about this, but Reggie Wayne announced the Paris Campbell pick, and now he's a Colts wide receivers coach.
Yeah, that's very true.
Interesting.
It's great to see him on the staff, man. It really is.
Yeah. I love to see it. I'm like, just give him some freaking options here. Come on. Give him some talent. Man. What a day, man. You told me, you're like, get ready for noon, man. And I was all hyped and all ready. And then, nothing. Yep.
Yeah, man. We hopefully tomorrow's more eventful. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up.
It's like there's like that meme on Twitter. It's like the Michael Scott is like, no question about it. I'm ready to get hurt again. And it's like a Colts thing in the background. I'm like, yep, that's me. That's me in free agency.
I don't know. I welcome to Bring the Chandler Jones podcast. Yes. I will do anything to get Jones on this podcast.
Anything. Bro, okay.
I
I'll hold you to that. You guys heard that. Derek said that. So if whatever I say, if they sign him, Derek's going to do it.
All right.
Just so you know.
Okay.
All right. Now, everybody just spam Jim Irsay's Twitter and tell him to sign Chandler Jones right now.
Yeah, there's 350 of you in here right now. We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, and then Zach Ertz got re-signed the other day. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
yeah. But let's be honest, he wants to play with Kyler Murray versus literally nobody on the Colts. So
exactly.
Don't blame him. Don't blame him. That's why I think it's so essential, Derek, to get a rookie quarterback.
Hey, next year's the class to do it.
Yep. It just sucks. Like, I feel like this year we're just kind of like stuck in this place where, like, what do we do? Like, it's such a crapshoot to be in for this season. Like, almost knowing that this team doesn't have a legitimate upgrade. And for that reason, I don't know if they're going to be able to compete for, like, the playoffs or even the Super Bowl this next year because they don't have a legit quarterback right now. Now, if they do, we're talking a different story. But we all know how important the quarterback position is. So that's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
A lot more to go, but yeah, it does stink because not for the sake that I feel like we're getting passed by people. I just think it's just stinks that like all these other teams making these moves, and there has only been three other teams that have not made any moves yet, along with us. Yeah,
yep, besides re-signing our own, right?
Which we haven't even done. Like, honestly, like, I mean, we're at that point. We've only re-signed Alie-Cox.
Yeah,
we haven't re-signed anyone else.
There's a few guys I would,
It's not even that. I mean, it's not even. Yeah, dear Chandler Jones, how does a 1 year $70 million thing do? Yeah, I'll do that. I don't freaking care. But I mean, at this point, it's we haven't even re-signed. We haven't even re-signed any of our guys. We've gotten nothing done, and it's just we re-signed Cox, but we still have to re-sign our offensive linemen that are our key interior offensive linemen. We have to re-sign some of our defensive ends. We're not doing any of that. And Uzama just signed with the Jets. Are you shitting me?
Here we go, sitting on our hands again.
Yep, he intends to sign a 3-year deal with the Jets.
I love it. Great. Oh, you get to enjoy the misery of with us. Oh boy. Well, everybody.
Why? Why to the Jets though? Why to the Jets? Why?
Was Ballard out of the office today? Real question.
Yeah, I do. Uzama was $8 million a year. Oh my God, no.
I'm losing it over here. Oh my goodness.
No way. How you gonna let how does Uzama go to the Jets for $8 million a year? Are you shitting me? Yeah, 3 years, $24 million.
Because they have a quarterback, right? They have at least an answer at quarterback.
They at least have a rookie who's trash, but I don't care.
They got something. It's like
unbelievable.
This is like, okay, I have no issue if you want to move on from Wentz. Like, and you did, and you got good. I think you got a good return for it, but you didn't have a plan B. So why are we surprised that nobody wants to sign with you? You don't have a freaking quarterback. Like, it shouldn't come as a shock. It's just annoying. It's just like, we have backed ourselves into this corner right now where it's like, what are we doing? Like, we've almost like tied our hands, for this free agency period, bro. I truly don't know what the answer is. All right.
That is so shit. Damn it. I kind of wanted Uzama, to be honest.
I know. All right.
Damn.
All right. Gerald Everett season, right?
Gerald Everett season. Yeah. Or Robert Tonyan season.
Yes. I think we need to get off here before Derek loses his mind.
No, I'm good.
Whew.
Hold on. Oh, Ari's going live. Oh, okay. I was wondering.
I see. Yeah. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to our pain and our misery. Join us.
I love the chat is already saying fire Ballard, fire Ballard.
People are, wow. Yeah. I mean,
well, I thought it was hilarious, and I'll be honest, I kind of was laughing at you a little bit today.
Let me overreact. Let me be angry.
Listen, I love you, and you're my bro, obviously, but I was laughing at you when I was laughing at you when you were going so nuts with that first hour of signing. And so was a lot of Colts Nation too.
Yeah, I didn't send anything.
Gonna sign Chester Rodgers to a 4-year, $100 million.
Screw it. Let's get the band back together. We'll sign Brissett. We'll sign Rodgers.
Apparently Kenny Moore is saying TikTok on Twitter.
There you go, Derek. You know it's inevitable.
Something's gonna happen, I'm sure.
Bro, he did that earlier. I don't believe it.
That is so I mean, God, that's so demonetized. I don't give a shit at this point. They're not watching. YouTube's not watching this shit.
I'm demonetizing myself, bro.
No, you're not. Get you
Yes, I am.
keep away from the controls.
I'm doing it.
Nah.
Bro, we need like
gosh. Uzama,
we need to have like
only get $8 million?
Bro, we need to have a prayer circle for Ballard. Like, please.
TikTok means juju. Oh my god.
There you go, Derek.
No. Okay, I'm kidding.
Watch. We sign Juju, and Derek just loses his mind.
Listen. Okay, I'm going to be honest. And I'm going to also be positive. Okay. I'm going to figure this out. I may have my moment, but I'm always going to be positive.
Just let Derek, just let him lose his mind for a second, and then we'll be fine.
Jake, I'm sorry to do this. Jake Elrod, saying everyone's going to have different opinions, but for Chris Ballard to preach high character for years, then make phone calls about a quarterback with 22 sexual assault allegations shows how desperate they are. Says Steelers fans have been enjoying having Big Ben for almost 20 years.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, come on.
Oh, my word.
I just, it's whatever. I just think that there's a lot of people that are just kind of still salty that he didn't get convicted, which is weird because it's like, again, you couldn't prove he did something, but you also can't prove he didn't do something. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird situation, but
it is weird.
But whatever. But yeah, I mean, of course, like, again, there have been dudes in this league that have played for a lot worse than what Deshaun may or may not have done. And yet nobody ever said a word before about that. There's a problem we have with the league a little bit.
Oh, well, I don't know what else we can
Now,
really say.
Here's something that happened today. Did you see Nyheim Hines take the Colts stuff out of his bio?
Did he? No.
Yeah, he took the Colts. Apparently that's something that happened today. Daryl was mentioning that to me.
Interesting.
Colts might as well sign John Cena at QB. Hey, you can't see him. So there you go. It works.
Oh, my word.
Dude, I just created. Oh, shit.
Oh boy, this is nuts, bro. This is just a crazy time.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Or I feel like we're just literally doing nothing. Like this comment made me laugh. Okay, or to go. This made me laugh a lot.
Oh, I did see that.
Bro, I sent a tweet. Oh my gosh. You probably saw it. It's like the scene from SpongeBob where like they're trying to make
they're trying to make Man Ray good better, and it's just Patrick just being a total dumbass. Yeah,
it's just him. Like, the whole thing about a wallet. I'm like, this is just Chris Ballard to a T. This is your wallet.
I love SpongeBob, and that's such a great. It's a great meme too.
It's like Ballard. It's like Ballard. You have all this money. Nope, doesn't look familiar. It's not mine.
It's like, bro, it's not mine. It is.
No, it's not mine.
I am trying to be a good person and return it to you.
It's like, this is your name. This is your ID, right? Yep. And I found this ID in this wallet, so it must be your wallet. That makes sense to me. So take it. It's not my wallet.
I saw somebody say Kaepernick. Don't you dare.
What?
Somebody said Kaepernick, which is hilarious.
Oh, bro.
Again, Kaepernick, the guy who compared the NFL to slavery, yet continues to say he wants to play with in that league and hasn't played in 6 years.
Let's say he is he even good at this point? He hasn't played in, he said 6 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, he hasn't played in that many years, and then on top of it, again, compared the NFL to slavery, and yet still wants to play in there. Yeah, right. That's the quarterback that I want leading my team.
It's just controversial.
It's controversial to the max.
Yeah.
Cap got more character issues than Watson and Big Ben. Well.
Oof.
Oh,
this is turning more political than I thought.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna chill. I'm sorry that I've done that.
That's all I got, bro.
I know that's all I've got at the moment too. I kind of just want to stay live just on the potential chance that something happens. But
I just don't have any faith it will. If I'm being honest. Ebron is available. Yeah,
with them hands.
I died.
Good Lord, man, your camera.
It looks better than yours.
No, well, at least mine doesn't have to worry about shutting off in the middle of recording.
You're right, because you spent $10 on it.
Actually, 5 times that. I don't give a shit if your camera was 3 times the price of mine. Mine plugs into my computer. It's easier.
Uh-huh.
And mine doesn't die.
Uh-huh.
So
whatever you say, bro.
Go at me. I don't care.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. Hey, anyone that's in here right now, why don't y'all just tell me which one of us has a better webcam right now? The guy that
I don't have a webcam, so
the one that actually was on just 5 seconds ago, or the one that just turned on now? Huh?
Mine looks better.
Mine doesn't die.
The comment section isn't as bad as I thought, actually.
They're being nice to us today.
Thank you, guys. You didn't make me contemplate my life today, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys are just basically feeling the same exact way as Cody, and he can appreciate that. Reggie, thoughts on Reggie Wayne becoming our wide receiver coach? Well, if we actually get one, then yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see him work his magic on these guys.
Yep.
Why don't we play Ellinger?
I mean, if we want to tank, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I think you guys just give way too much. I think you guys give way too much credit to Ellinger. Honestly, he was never drafted to be the starter.
No, he shouldn't have been. He was a 7th round pick, right? Like
6th round.
6th round, yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying anything because Sam Ellinger, that video you and I made of us drafting Sam Ellinger was the biggest video we made in the whole draft season. So
random too.
Yeah, it was that was random. Well, I guess not, because a bunch of Sam Ellinger people were probably looking up our video.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing.
For this
is an interesting thing I want you to see. So this is from Matt Miller. on Twitter. He said, I asked one of the NFL front office sources why the free agent defensive end market has been so slow to develop. And he said, it's a very good defensive end draft. Lots of teams are going to wait and draft instead of paying crazy money. So I wonder if that would potentially help the Colts' chances to land a Chandler Jones or a Zadarius Smith, because they're not going to go up and get a guy. I wouldn't think, right? You wouldn't think they would invest more draft capital into that. So it's just interesting.
I think it would be very wise to go after some of these guys now while you can.
I think so too.
There's not going to be a ton of guys that will.
Zach Kiefer, wide receiver 1. I love it.
Why don't you text him that? Take a picture and just text him that, saying that somebody believes that he should be receiver 1, because you have those contacts. I don't.
Zach's a good friend. Where is it? Oh, yeah.
Tank. No, I'm not tanking. Listen. It's one of those things to me that I'm glad I am a fan of an organization that doesn't pride itself on losing everything every single year. I just don't. I apologize, Rich. I do apologize. This is one of the random live streams where I don't that I just have lost my temper a little bit. I do apologize. I do apologize on that. I'll try to be better. It's just it's rough for me right now.
It's emotions. It happens. Yeah, I try to keep it clean on here as much as I can. Does Chandler Jones fit a 4-3 defense, Derek?
I mean, he fits anything. He's played in a 4-man front with Arizona the whole time.
Here's my question, though. If they come, like, say, Zadarius Smith, right? He was a linebacker in Green Bay's system. I honestly always have felt, and you can correct me if you disagree on this, I've always felt like it's easier for, like, edge guys to put their hand in the dirt as opposed to standing up. Like we saw it with Mathis and Freeney. I felt like it was harder for them, when they switched to that 3-4 in the Pagano system to do that. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I think that when it comes to the 3-4, it's really tough because, at that point, size really matters when it comes to guys like that. Mark Lewinsky to the Giants. That just happened.
Yep, it did.
Wow. I haven't gotten the alert yet, which is weird.
Yep, I just saw it. Jeremy Fowler. So we're just going to let everybody walk, and then we're just going to have no free agents, and we're just going to die.
Just reported it too. I told you.
He got 3 years, $20 million.
$20 million with 11.5 fully guaranteed.
Yep.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew he was going to get some. I knew if he tested the market, he was going to get. I knew he was going to get it. So now that means you have to re-sign Chris Reed.
So this is an interesting point that one of our listeners brought up is Chris Ballard actually mentioned the possibility of Danny Pinter playing some guard this next year. So that's interesting. Pinter? Yeah. So I'm fine with that. They bring back Chris Reed. They still have Danny Pinter who can play some guard. I'm good with that.
Right.
You know what? If the Colts aren't going to spend their money in free agency, can they just pay us to stream about them or something?
Yeah, right. For real, we'll do it. I'll just say this. Look, I don't even have to get paid a vet minimum. I'll just take what do you think? What's the go rate right now, Cody? We going $500K?
Yeah, just enough to build a studio, just enough to move to Indianapolis and live pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. I think good. $500K would work, right? We won't have. That's just a one-time payment.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Glowinski to the Giants. So one of our free agents off the market now.
So that was that's one of the first Colts. Isn't that the first Colts player, former Colts player taken by another team now?
Yep. This offseason. Yep.
Hey, that's a great move by the Giants, by the way.
It is a great move.
Mark Lewinsky, 30 years old, has been one of the most reliable offensive linemen in the Colts over the last few years.
He's durable as crap, bro.
He's very durable. He has not missed many games at all compared to the rest of the offensive line. It's one of those things. He he definitely was worth that contract, and that was a great signing by the Giants. They definitely got a right guard for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and well deserved by Mark Glowinski. I mean, he was losing time last year to Chris Reed, right? And so you always felt like one of these guys was probably going to go. And I'm glad that Glowinski is getting paid because he definitely deserves it. He's probably one of the more underrated offensive linemen in the NFL at the guard position. So definitely deserving of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like we said, that means that you're obviously going to re-sign Chris Reed at this point.
Yeah, you got to.
You know, it's one of those things. I mean, now you got more room now to spend money somewhere else.
Yep.
You better.
You better, bro.
I'm turning on Rappaport's tweet.
Yeah, I'm just like refreshing at this point to see if anything else happens. I don't know if it will, but yeah. Lael Collins. Yeah, we talked about Lael Collins. I would not mind Lael Collins if you think he can make the transition to left tackle, which he has had experience at left tackle. I would be for it personally because you're not going to have to trade anything for him. And besides Armstead, I think he's the second best tackle on the market right now. So I would not be opposed to that. Right. And he's younger than Armstead, too, by a couple years.
Just signed Jackie Moon. Who's that?
Jackie Moon. You don't know who Jackie Moon is?
I probably do. I'd probably just blank.
Oh, man. No, not Bobby Wagner. I don't see the need for Bobby Wagner, personally.
Right. I mean, it's
good player, for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think so. Oh.
Yep, I'm happy for Glow. I'm glad he finally got the contract that he deserved.
Yeah, it's very bittersweet because you hate to see him go, but you're also happy for him, man.
Yeah, well, I remember your
I knew you'd bring it up.
Yep.
I knew you'd bring it up.
It up anymore now.
If there's a positive thing, Derek will shut up about this.
Look, okay, I have to because it's the one last time I'm going to get to talk to you about it. Guys, you don't know how many times this man texted me in the 2019 season, and this guy was roasting the crap out of Mark Glowinski, man. He hated Mark Glowinski. I said, give him another year. Let's see what happens. And,
it was valid, though, at that time.
It was valid at that time. You're right. Yeah, right.
Chris Ballard.
Yeah, he absolutely deserved that criticism back then, but he's quickly become the most reliable offensive lineman we have. Had.
Yeah. I mean, durability, yes, 100%. Oh, can we just get Robert Mathis come out of retirement? I'd be fine with that. I'd be good with that.
Colts just signed Kyrie Irving. Derek, call Ballard. We need to sign Chandler Jones.
I got him on speed dial. I'll give him a call.
Ballard. Here, Mr. Ballard. Please give me a call.
Be like, Chris, I'm in danger of losing my mind. Please. I want Ryan Lilja back. Underrated guard. He was only like 5 pounds, but I want him back. Want him back.
I just tweeted, Mr. Ballard, please give me a call. I need to talk with you about acquiring Chandler Jones, please. The Colts have to re-sign Chris Reed at this point. It has to be.
Yep.
Colts sign AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk, yeah. Pat McAfee to be our quarterback, AJ Hawk to play receiver. I'm good with that.
Colts sign Johnny Unitas.
Woo! Colts sign Ryan Leaf, bro. Ryan Leaf.
Former Cowboys safety Xavier Woods is signing a 3-year, $16 million deal with the Panthers.
Okay.
That's not something that keeps them out of the running for Deshaun Watson. So
yeah. Don't you hate it when you refresh and it shows you a tweet from 10 hours ago and you're like, oh, nope, never mind. I hate when that happens.
Yes, Bo, that is true. They tried to talk to Watson and Houston declined to allow them. The only way The only way that the Colts get Deshaun Watson at this point is if Watson states that that is the only team he wants to go to.
Is that going to happen? Probably not.
Maybe. Never know.
We can hold out hope.
Cody, you need to set yours to latest tweets.
I know. I know.
I know.
Well, it goes to like a certain hashtag I'm following or something, or like a person I'm following, and it pulls up tweets like related to that and stuff. So, yeah. Elementary. Blues quarterback won this year, bro. He's got a good spiral, let me tell you. I've seen him. We saw him at the game.
What are you talking about?
Blue. He's got a good spiral, man.
Yeah, man.
He's got an arm. Yeah, exactly. Houston is not trading Watson to a division rival. Let's be honest. They're not.
That is the very last thing that they'll do.
Yeah.
Again, the only way they would do that is if Watson stated that the only team he would go to is Indy. And even then, it's still not going to be cheap.
Bro, you know who the answer is. You know who he is in your heart of hearts. You know who the answer is. Derek.
What?
You know who the answer is at quarterback. You know.
No, I don't know.
Everybody knows who the answer is.
No, it's not. It's not Chad Kelly either.
The Swag Kelly.
No.
He's the answer at quarterback. If we sign him, we're going. How many games do we play now? 20, 19? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We're winning every game. Swag Kelly for the win. I think I'm losing Derek here.
I'm just
I just like just being dumb, bro. It's just like we just accept the fact that we're just so angry. We're just like, let's just be dumb right now. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Brian wants some crab legs.
I'm gonna keep a positive attitude, but at the same time,
Josh Chosen Rosen. I love it, bro. I love it. Let's get Josh Chosen Rosen.
Josh Chosen Rosen. Oh my God.
That's great.
We will lose more games than we win with Josh Rosen as our quarterback.
That's the goal, isn't it?
No, that's not the goal.
You're not leaving the Raiders, Derek? That's what I'm hearing.
Hey, listen, the Raiders treat me well and they give me a good deal, okay?
What if it's like the Indianapolis Colts trade for Derek Larger and everybody thinks it's Derek Carr and they're like, what? What is this crap? I mean, how's your arm looking, bro? How far can you throw it?
Hasn't been utilized in like 7 years, okay? So I'm good to go.
You're fresh, man. You're ready to roll.
I'm fresh. I haven't taken any punishment. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I don't know, at this point I'm almost to the point, Derek, where I get the argument for like Ellinger. Like I'm not there, but like at this point just roll with it. You're not in a worse place than you are now, you know? So I get that logic of it, but I think he probably will at least sign or draft one quarterback.
Does signing Chandler Jones mean no Kamoko/Tyquan?
I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
That's not true. You could get rid of two of them, but it doesn't have to be Tyquan and Kamoko.
The thing that I always look at is like Tyquan's very position flexible, right? He can play, and I don't see a scenario where he's not back because Ballard talked very highly of Tyquan.
Right.
He plays defensive end. He plays 3-tech. He plays just about everywhere for you. And Kamoko Toure is the best pass rusher on your roster, even with Chandler Jones. Like you could still bring both these guys back. I feel like you need pass rush that desperately, where like you just bring them all back and you let it sort itself out. Like I would be okay with that, honestly.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Hating on Jameis Lindsay. I agree.
Cardale Jones. Hey, I love me some Cardale Jones, man.
Is he still in the league?
No, he was in the XFL.
Bro, we'll just trade for Dwayne Haskins. Because Washington has their quarterback.
He says he's in no, he's not in Washington. He's in Pittsburgh.
Where is he? He's in Pittsburgh now? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they traded him away.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, Pittsburgh, whatever. We'll just take your guy, Derek. I'm not serious, people, by the way.
Right. Look, I will be the first one to admit Dwayne Haskins should have stayed at Ohio State for another year.
Yeah, he should have been.
I
Yeah.
know the money was there, but he definitely should have stayed.
Well, man, I think that's all I have looking at free agency. We touched about on everything, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's
You
kind
and
of
I
cool.
still got to record a video.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about like just some of the options.
Yeah,
available.
some of the options that we still believe that the Colts could go and get that don't include our own.
I feel like we need to just like do it quickly because
because
change
the amount of shit that could still happen, right?
And it probably will still happen. So yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, after we hop out of this, just go ahead and create one, and then I'll have a drink, and
we'll jump right into it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Hey, listen, to everyone that tuned in, want to greatly appreciate you guys hopping in here. We had 400 people in here at one point. That's insane. I did not expect this amount of people to come in here and talk with us. And obviously you guys are offering up your opinions about how this day has gone so far. And obviously it's not been a great start for the Indianapolis Colts, but maybe we'll go live again tomorrow, breaking down more news about what's going on. Maybe, just maybe, the Colts might have some more moves to potentially talk about tomorrow, other than talking about just re-signing Alie-Cox. So
Yep. Exactly.
We'll see what happens. But again, thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. Please be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Make sure to comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest free agent news regarding the Colts. Thank you guys again so much. And as always, go Colts.